Hello, everyone. You're listening to Unlocking Greatness podcast with Zenja Glass. Feel free to call me Z. I think the name of this podcast is going to be called No Apologies. And I apologize in advance if I come with a little bit of fire, but I feel this pretty strongly. We have to stop apologizing for going higher in our lives. We have to stop apologizing. And you may say, well, Z, how on earth am I apologizing? I believe there are so many times in our lives, including mine, when we're going to a higher level or God is calling us higher. And we may have people in our lives that are not as happy, about that don't sit in a corner and cheer us on as they see us doing that. Or maybe they just have nothing to say at all. And I know that some of you all can relate to this. And the apology comes not so much vocally, but the apology comes in our behavior when you try to stoop a little bit lower when you're in their presence. And I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know you do. When you're stooping a little bit lower in their presence because you don't want them to see that you're really excited about what you're doing or about what you're about to do. Does that make sense? Or perhaps you're taking those steps, but you're not taking the steps as big as you really want to, or perhaps as big as you need to, or as big as God has told you to, because there's something in the back of your mind that's like, oh, I know that they're not going to like this, or I know that this person's going to feel like, who do you think you are, or why do you have to do all of that? And you all know what I'm talking about. Some of you right now, and I know this for a fact, I believe this in my heart. I guess I should say it like that. You have things that you want to do or things that you're already doing. You're already doing it, but you know you need to go higher. You know there's something more grand on the horizon, and you're not doing it. You're not taking that extra leap because perhaps someone, and it could be someone very close to you, but perhaps there's someone, I don't care if it's friends, family members, or whomever, maybe you're concerned about the coworker, there's someone close to you that you're concerned about what they're going to say or think. And you know I'm right. So when you delay that, when you stoop low and you don't do what you need to do because you're concerned about the reaction from someone else, or you don't want to make that person feel how should I word this? Make that person feel any less, because sometimes when you're pursuing dreams and you're going after things in your life, and if someone else is not doing that, you want to be careful not to hurt them, right? And so sometimes you delay your dreams a little bit, or you suppress it a little bit because you don't want that person to feel some kind of way. And I'm telling you to stop doing that. I'm not saying walk in pride and walk in arrogance. I don't believe in that. I'm saying walk in the purpose that you have in your life. I'm saying do the doggone thing that God is telling you to do. I'm saying stop apologizing. Stop apologizing in your mannerism and in your behavior by not being who you know you are, simply because you are trying to cater to those around you who are not doing the same. Stop doing that. That to me is like apologizing for the dream or the vision or the talents that God has given you. Remember a while back, a long time ago, I did a podcast on elevation, and that was one of the podcasts that went viral for me as well. I forget what I called it. I think it was called, I don't remember, The Price of Elevation, or Elevation, I don't know, comes with a price tag or something like that. Or maybe I just called it, I think I called it Go Higher. That was the name. It was called Go Higher. And the whole premise of that podcast was, as you begin to elevate and go higher in life, at least from my own personal experience, let me just put it, from my own perspective, there's always someone or something that needs to detach away from you. And I think I gave an example of like a rocket, when a rocket takes off and how it has to detach from that base. There's very few circumstances I can think of when something elevated and there was nothing that detached from it. You get my point? Normally when you elevate, when God is calling you to a higher level, or, when there's a higher calling on your life, or there's a goal or a dream or something that you're going after, at least from my own experience, again, let me speak for me. Normally there's always something or someone that has to detach away from me. It always happens. So that to me is like the price tag that you pay for elevation. That does not mean that you walk your butt around in arrogance and pride, thinking you're better than other people. I don't believe in that, because God is able to humble. But I'm talking about as you elevate, as you take these huge chances, as you jump, take these big leaps and do the things that you need to do, you're going to have some people in your life, unfortunately, at least for me, this is my perspective, that may not be as happy for you. And maybe because they're not doing what they need to do. Maybe they have issues going on that have nothing to do with you at all. And it's just, as sad as it is, you've got to continue to elevate. You can't stay low. Now, for those who are listening to the podcast, I'm sort of moving my hands up and down. So you can't stay low. You can't stay down there when God has called you up here. God has called you up here, and you're down here with the turtles and the grasshoppers. And he's called you to eat from the top of the trees. And you don't want the turtles and the grasshoppers to be upset with you, so you're trying to stay low when you should be high. And I don't mean that in arrogance. I just mean that God calls you higher, and you got to be able to do what he's asking you to do. Okay? You all know my 100th episode is coming up. I'm very excited about it. I can't even begin to tell you some of the things that God has put in my heart and what he wants me to do. And I'll just say this. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. Not everyone in my circle is so pumped up and excited about what I'm doing. Because, I would say perhaps, I'm just saying perhaps, for some people, they may think, well, you already have a business. You're already doing a podcast. You may need to slow down a little bit. You're doing a little bit too much. And why do you got to take things to another level? You get my point? Even in my circle. But you think I listen to that? I listen to the calling that God has on my life. Now, I don't believe in, running and going 100 miles an hour and you're just all over the place. And that's not what I'm doing. But God is the one that has breathed life into what he wants me to do. He's the one that wakes me up in the middle of the night and at 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning have me jotting down, and I want you to do this, and I want you to, and here's what I want you to say here. Here's what I picture where I want you to be next, my daughter. I said, but God, oh my goodness, I already got a lot on my plate, and I'm still, grieving over here, and I'm dealing with this, and God said, I know, I got you, but I'm taking you higher. I need you to trust me. So when God speaks to me and tells me to do something, no devil in hell is going to stop me, whether I have cheerleaders in my corners or not. And there's another podcast episode I did a while ago, and I think it's called They Don't Have to Cheer. That would be a really, really good one for you to listen to. I don't even remember which episode that was. It was a while back, but I think it's called They Don't Have to Cheer. And the whole point of that is sometimes God just gives you that dream and that vision, and it wasn't given to anyone else. Remember, we've talked about Joseph so many times. You guys should know that story inside and out. Sometimes the dream and the vision was just given to you. So how can you get down or sad or be discouraged when someone else is not excited about what you're doing? Or maybe they think you're going too far. You're doing too much. Why you got to do all of that? Well, what's the point of that? You get my point? I won't apologize. I will not apologize for going higher. I am going to listen to the call that God has on my life and do exactly what he asked me to do. And I know that normally whenever I'm going through something, it never fails. My audience is going through it as well, which is unbelievable. So I know that there's people out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. And the only thing I want to encourage you with today, and you don't have to move in anger. I'm not angry with anyone, just so you know. I'm not upset. I'm just convicted is probably the best word, is that, wait. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for going higher. I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry if you don't get it. I'm sorry if it challenges you. But I got to go where God is calling me. Now, I don't mean run off and do things where you're neglecting your family left and right and you put all your responsibilities to the side and you just going to do whatever I don't mean that. I just mean from in a responsible way. So I do want to clarify that. When God has clearly spoken to you and asked you to do something, and he's given this unction in your spirit to here's where I need you to go. Anytime you pause to look around at the people around you, and you lower that bar because you're afraid of what they're going to say or think, or you're concerned that, I don't want my light to be so bright because I don't want to, I don't want to seem like I'm shining so bright in the room, and I want to be careful that other people don't feel in any way less by my light being so bright. Anytime you go into that mode, just say to yourself, you know what? I'm off track. I've got to answer to the call that God has on my life. So just say to yourself, no more apologies. There's no reason to apologize. You be you, and you do what God has told you to do. And you don't apologize to anyone for that, okay? I love you all. I'm looking forward to the 100th episode. So many things are going to change. I'm just blown away. I'm speechless by what God is doing. You guys, just give me a minute on this. I'm so speechless because I just want to do His will and please Him. And I just want to touch hearts of people out there who are searching, who are in dark places, who want to overcome obstacles, people who want to be encouraged and inspired. And, that's just who I am. I naturally love motivating and helping people. And I'm so amazed that in some of my darkest moments, which I'm still experiencing now, I just want to make that really, really clear. In some of my darkest moments, I'm so encouraged that God has the audacity to call me higher so that I can call others higher. So anyway, I'm so looking forward to the 100th episode and all the new things that I'm going to be doing. And I pray that whatever projects you have that you're working on, that you do not stall, you do not delay. And if you're doing any apologies by your verbally or by your behavior, and I mean this in humility, not in pride, stop apologizing for going higher. Stop apologizing for that. You do exactly what God has asked you to do. No apologies necessary, okay? Love you all. Don't forget to subscribe to my community text number. That should be somewhere in my bio. Anyway, love you guys. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Love you all. Bye-bye.